So today we're going to be learning about the effects of human activity on groundwater and surface water. And to do that, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine. This is Fred. Say hi to Fred. Isn't he cute? That's Fred. And Fred is going to go on a journey, and we're going to go along with him. The first thing you need to do is either get a piece of paper and write the numbers 1 through 9, or you can do this digitally. You can open up another Word doc, and you're just going to number 1 through 9. And at each place in the story where I stop, I'm going to ask you, how is Fred now? Okay, so remember, you can pause this video, go get what you need, resume it at any time. If you miss something, feel free to rewind so that you can hear the part that you missed. It's yours to manipulate as you choose. This is going to be what you're going to turn in. Okay, so you have a paper that says, how does Fred feel now? And I'm going to take you on an adventure with my friend, Fred. So, first thing I want you to do, imagine a clean river as it meanders through a protected wilderness area. In this river lives Fred the fish. So, how's Fred? Now remember, a protected wilderness area means no human activity there. People are only allowed to go in and look and not take anything. There's lots of animals. It's clean water. How do you think Fred feels now? So this is number 1. On your paper, under number 1, I want you to write an adjective. Adjective means a descriptive word, something like happy or healthy or satisfied. Some word to describe how you think Fred feels now. Okay? So Fred, being the adventurous little fish that he is, has decided to go on a journey. He's lived in this stretch of river all of his life, but now he's ready to go on an adventure traveling downstream. So, Fred swims past a large construction site where a new mall is going to be built. We like new malls, right? Lots of shopping. There's lots of loose soil where the land has been leveled. It begins to rain, and some of the soil washes into the river. How is Fred now? For number 2, I want you to write, how do you think Fred feels now? Gosh, it's getting a little dirty in there, isn't it? So number 2, remember, you can pause the video, write your adjectives, and come back to it at any time. Fred's still feeling adventurous. So now he nears a suburban housing development. Some fertilizer from the gardens and lawns has washed into the river a few months back. Fertilizer, oh. The fertilizer made the plants in the river grow very thick and fast, and eventually the river couldn't supply them with all the nutrients they needed, so the plants died and started to decay. Their decomposition is using up some of Fred's oxygen. How do you think Fred feels now? This is number 3. Under number 3, I want you to write, how do you think Fred feels now? Some descriptive word about how he feels. But Fred, he's not deterred by any of this. He's going to keep going. So Fred swims under a highway bridge. Some of the cars traveling across it are leaking oil, and the rain is washing that oil into the river below. Ooh, that's some nasty stuff. How do you think Fred feels now? This is number 4. Under number 4, how do you think Fred feels now? Ooh, look at all that oil stuck at the bottom. Now ask yourself, is anything that Fred experienced, is it different than anything that happens in real life? Do we have real life construction areas that blow the dirt around? Do we have real life oil just washing from cars? Do your parents maybe use fertilizers on their lawns? So all this is really happening out in our world right now. And we're looking at poor Fred who's swimming through this water. Next step, during a recent cold spell, some ice formed on the bridge. County trucks spread salt on the road to prevent accidents. And now that rain is washing the salty slush down into the river. Oh, look at that salt. Oh, I think we need a little extra water on that one. Even more salt. Ugh, is salt good for living things, do you think? How do you think Fred feels now? This is number 5. Write your adjective for how you think Fred feels now. Do you think he's regretting he went on this journey down the river? You think he's missing his pristine wilderness home? He's come into contact with a lot of humans so far. Not all of it good stuff. Moving on to the next step in his journey, number 6. Fred swims past a city park. Some of the picnickers didn't throw their trash into the garbage can, and the wind is blowing it into the river. How do you think Fred feels now? Imagine those are McDonald's containers and empty water bottles and trash bags from Walmart. Look at all that. Oh, look, it's stuck on Fred. Look at poor little Fred. He's all dirty now. And look at his river. Number 6. How do you think Fred feels now? How is Fred? How do you think he's doing? Remember, just a couple of descriptive words, adjectives to describe how you think he feels. Number 7. As Fred nears another neighborhood, he sees bubbles floating in the water. They're soap bubbles. Ooh, soapy water. They've come from the storm drain that runs from the neighborhood into the river. Someone in the neighborhood was washing their car on the street, and the soapy water is running down into the river. Ugh. Do you think the soap just made him a little cleaner? Probably not in this case. So number 7, how is Fred? Oh, I don't know. Things are getting a little dark in there. Doesn't look like a very happy place, does it? Can you imagine this happening in the rivers around us? Do people really litter? Do we really have things like soap running down into the storm drains? So all this is real life stuff that Fred is experiencing. And here we're going to look at next one. Up ahead, a stream joins the river, and Fred wants to swim really fast through this stretch because he knows that the stream runs along a trail where people don't clean up after their pets. What do you think that is? Yeah, that's the nasty stuff. Now remember, a dog maybe doesn't have all that much of this involved, but you go by a farm, imagine a big, huge farm, and you see them on the side of the road with all those cows, and all that waste is running down into the water. Oof, poor Fred. How do you think Fred feels now? Going by all that pet waste. That's number 8. How does Fred feel now? Poor Fred. But he's not done yet. He has one more step on his journey. Finally, Fred swims past a trash pile where people have dumped everything from soda bottles to paint cans. Much of the trash is household hazardous waste that should have gone to the county hazardous waste collection so it wouldn't pollute the river. But it didn't. Oh, imagine going by a landfill with all those batteries and paint cans, all the stuff you use in your home to clean with, and that they're supposed to get thrown away correctly. Oh, poor Fred. How do you think Fred is now? Now remember, you can't say Fred's dead because all this stuff happens in our rivers every single day. And are there fish swimming in the river still? Absolutely. So Fred's not dead. And this is what our rivers go through every single day. How do you think Fred feels? How do you think all the fish swimming in the river feel, knowing that that's their river? Remember back to the beginning when we had that pristine river where Fred was living before he went on this journey through all this human activity? Maybe it makes us rethink things just a little bit. So you should have 9 adjectives written on your paper, 9 places where you describe how Fred is feeling. And you're gonna submit that through Google Classroom under this assignment. Remember, you can go back and rewatch it as many times as you need to get each of the 9 stops. Now I'm gonna say goodbye to my friend Fred here. We're gonna take him back up to his pristine river so that he can have a little bit of a break from all this. So, bye y'all.